This event tonight wouldn't be possible. This wouldn't be possible without Terry Haley and his kind sponsorship from BFA Recycling. Terry, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to ask a few questions, and the turbulent, wonderful life story has given up for the man once dubbed the hardest white man on the planet by Iron Mike Tyson, Big Joe Egan.
Go on, Joe.
How are you?
Charlie, thank you for being here tonight. I know it's your night, and I'm honoured and privileged to be here as part of your night. Okay? Thank you, my friend.
Well done.
Thank you. And I just want to clarify something before we start.
Joe, give me that mic. That's better.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify something before we start, right? Mike Tyson said Joe Egan is the toughest white man on the planet. Far, far from it. We were sparring this particular day, and there was 4 white sparring partners, which was unusual. Normally there'd be some black guys, but this particular day there was 4 white guys, and he knocked 3 of them out. I was number 4. I got battered from pillar to post, but he never put me down. And at the end of the spar, Mike said, Joe Egan is the toughest white man on the planet. Far, far from it. I was the toughest white man in the gym that day. But listen, if you're going to get battered, you might as well get battered by the best. I got battered by Mike Tyson for nearly 2 years. But it was an honour and a privilege to share the ring with him. Also, I got battered by Leonnox Lewis. It was an honour and a privilege to share the ring with him, because they were 2 of the best heavyweights of all time, but definitely of my era. And to be able to say that I stayed on my feet with both of them was an incredible achievement. Some people say, Joe, you milk it. I said, I've earned the right to milk it. I've earned the right to milk it. You know. But I got asked a lot, who hit the hardest? Leonnox Lewis or Mike Tyson? I said, the hardest I've ever been hit was by the tax man. He hit me the hardest. He hit me the hardest. I didn't say, you know, what about the bare knuckle? I said, I've had many, many bare knuckle fights. I've been in many glove fights. But what hurt me the most was when I got shot. I got shot twice. And lead, please believe me, hurts a lot harder than leather. You know, but I'm still here, still annoying people, and enjoying every moment. So we only have one life. We've got to live it to the full. Right? And I live my life to the full. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, but I enjoy my life. People say, what sort of an Irishman are you, that you don't drink? As my dad used to say, I was a failure as an Irishman because it's expected of the paddies to drink. But anyway, like Joseph said, I can talk. I didn't just kiss the brandy stone, I took a bite out of it.
You hold on to that mic, Joe.
Okay, my friend.
It's took about 65% of my questions away already. So you should only last 10 minutes. So let me start here, Joe. I've made a few notes. You know, all journalists must do a bit of. I'm not an amateur, by the way, but you must do a little bit of research. And I'm told you were bullied, mate. It's a strange old start. You're bullied from early.
A lot of fighters. You know, we're in the room with a lot of fighters. Ex-fighter yourself, Ray. There's a lot of Alex, you know, my good friend Alex Deacon, he's the cage fighting champion. And if you ask a lot of fighters got bullied. And that's why they go into the fight game, to learn how to fight and to learn how to stand up against the bullies. Yeah. My dad came over to the UK to work like a lot of the Irish. Ireland's greatest export has always been its people. And my dad came to work in the UK, and we came over to visit him as kids. I'm the eldest of 7. I've got 4 sisters and 2 younger brothers. 4 younger sisters and 2 younger brothers. And when we came over to visit, we were in Manchester this particular time. And I made my Holy Communion in Manchester. Me and a little fella, we were 7 or 8. And I had my Holy Communion medal on my waistcoat. And 2 fellas tried to take my Holy Communion medal. They were 15 or 16. And a white fella called Mark Cater and a black fella called Bovril. And it's funny. Yeah, that was the nickname. That was anyway. And they try. It's funny the way I never forget their names. I fought lots of guys that I don't remember the names, but they tried to take my Holy Communion medal, and I held on to my medal, and they knocked my two front teeth out. All my years boxing, I only ever had one tooth knocked out. They knocked 2 teeth out on the day they tried to take my Holy Communion medal. They didn't get my medal.
Did you hold on to it?
Oh yeah, they didn't get my medal. They got 2 of my teeth.
Well done.
But the thing is, I got bullied when I came to this country because I had the Irish accent. So to mix in, I picked up the English accent. So when I went home to Dublin...
Give us a demo. Give us a London demo.
No, I can't.
Come on.
But when I was a kid, I thought I could. Anyway, I picked up the English accent, and when I went home to Dublin, I got bullied in Dublin because I had the English accent. And when I was getting battered by the bullies, rather than beat my brothers and sisters, I used to jump back in and get battered more. I say, hit me more, don't hit them, please. And they battered me more. And then I got to the stage that I could absorb a beating like a sponge. I've been battered many, many times, but I could absorb the beating because I've been battered by the bullies. And when you're in the boxing ring, even if it is Mike Tyson or Lennox Lewis, there's still only one man hitting you. When the bullies were beating me, it was a gang, gang, pack animals. You know, they're kicking a boot and hitting with whatever they hit you with. And it got to this, that'd be black and blue, you know. But I do a lot of anti-bullying campaigns and talks and stuff. When I got bullied...
Have a word with my wife, yeah?
Oh, listen. Who was the most powerful man that God ever created? I'm very religious. I pray every day. I believe God made the world. Your house is as good as a church if you're going to pray. I respect all religions. I believe there's only one God. Call him Allah, call him Buddha, call him God. As long as you respect him in the right way, respect yourself and respect others. And that's the way I am. I pray every day. But the most powerful man that God ever created was Samson. And who brought Samson to his knees? Delilah. So what chances men like us got if Samson could be brought to his knees by a woman?
I bet that was a serious
And in every boy's eyes, his dad's the toughest man on the planet. And in my eyes, my dad was the toughest man on the planet. And I used to watch him coming in from work. And if my mother didn't greet him in the hall with a hug, he'd go, whatever I've done, I'm sorry. And me and my 2 brothers used to go, Dad's grovelling to Mum. But as you get older, you realise, use women rule the roost. That's it.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's it. You won that one, we surrender.
Yes,
yeah?
without
No more fighting,
without
love and peace from now on, yeah? What's the chance of love and peace from now on? Well, I won't hold my breath, but anyway, even for one day, if you're handy. Anyway, moving on, when did you really first know you had this bullying? When did you really first realise you were a proper fighting man? You know, you knew you could mix it. Which age?
I've never claimed to be a good fighter. I wasn't much good in the ring, and I wasn't much good on the street. But what I was tough, and I could absorb a beating. And I used to break a lot of men's hearts because I would absorb the beating. I could walk through pain barriers and walk through punishment because I'd got punished for years and years and years as a kid, getting battered by the bullies. And the best win of my career, I beat Bruce Seldon in Atlantic City. He went on to win the world heavyweight title. Like I said, I'd gone the distance with Leonnox and I took a bad beating.
What age was you when you beat Bruce Seldon?
When I beat Seldon, I would have been 20.
20?
Yeah. He went on to win the world.
Senior amateur fighter?
Yeah, he was the number
Serious
one. He was number 1 in the world. He went on to win the world heavyweight title. But we were in Atlantic City, in the Sands Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. And for the first round, he smashed me to bits. He was hitting me. I don't know, there was punches hitting me that I couldn't defend. He was so fast, so brilliant. And I went back to my corner, and I sat down in my corner, and my 2 corner men went, we're going to retire you on the stool. I said, no way am I quitting on the stool. You for real? Quitters never win and winners never quit. I'm not quitting on the stool, I can take this. And I walked out for round 2, and Seldon couldn't understand that I was walking out for round 2 because he'd smashed me to bits in round 1. But I took the beatings of Mike Tyson for 2 years. I took the beatings of Lennox Lewis, so I know I could absorb a beating.
Yeah.
So when I came out for round 2, the bell went, and Seldon stood still for that split second, Joseph, and I couldn't get near him in round 1, he was too brilliant. So when he stood still for that split second, I sunk in a body shot. I sunk it in the best I could, and it sickened him. He said, and I slowed him down, and I went on to win the best fight of my career.
Well done. Well, heavyweight champion.
I broke his heart because I continued to fight when there wasn't much fight left in me, but I just kept walking forward.
Yeah.
And that was that. When I boxed in the Acropolis Games, I fought in the Acropolis Games in 1987. That was the year before I beat Selden. And I beat an Italian, Luigi Guadiano, who'd stopped me the year previous, stopped me in the third round with cuts and broke my ribs. And round 3, he badly busted me up. But the following year, I'm boxing him in the Acropolis Games, which is a world ranking tournament, it's the pre-Olympic tournament, and I'm drawn against him in my first fight. So I thought, the year previous, this man had busted my ribs, cut me to bits, but he thought that he could do the same. And he got into the fight thinking, I'm going to beat him pretty easy, because I beat him the year before pretty easy. And he didn't put his foot on the pedal because he's thinking, I'm going to have to fight again the next day.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't thinking about the next day's fight, because I thought, I've lost to this man already, I probably won't beat him again tonight. But I went on to win a great fight. But he did hurt me, damage my eye. So I'm fighting in the next round, the next day, and I'm fighting the Canadian, a French lumberjack, French-Canadian. Big, strong, powerful man. And the damage that was done. Boxing, it's a greatest sport in the world, but it can be very cruel. And if a man has an injury, I'm not telling fighters in the room, but for people that don't understand the sport, if you've got a damaged left eye, you're not going to throw the punches to the right eye, you're going to throw the punches to the left eye to damage it more, because that's the nature of the sport. Anyway, my left eye was badly damaged by the Italian. So when I got in against the Canadian, he damaged the eye even more. So I'm now semi-finals. I've beaten the two good fighters. Through heart, just through heart, not through ability, just through heart. So my two cornermen, trainers, they said, Joe, your eye's badly damaged. They said, you're not going to fight in the semi-finals. I said, let the doctor tell me I'm not going to fight in the semi-finals. I said, I've earned the right to fight in the semi-finals. They said, Joe, your eye, you've got to squint. Yeah. And I said, let the doctor see. But what I didn't realise was the Greek, Georgios Stephanopoulos, he got a bye in his first fight, and he's won his second fight. So if they didn't let me fight him in Athens, in Greece, he would have had 2 byes to the final. Yeah. And he would have been fighting the Dutchman in the final, Anna van der Luyden, who got 2 Olympic bronze medals, having had 3 fights in the period of a week, and him only having had 1. So the Greek doctor didn't even look at my face, put the stethoscope on my chest, pushed me out, fit to fight. So I've gone out, my 2 cornermen. I said, I'm fit to fight. They said, you're right. I said, fit to fight. So the first round, I knew I only had 1 round in me. So I've gone at him, first round, I'm throwing punches. My left eye completely closed. He caught me, my left eye completely closed. I've gone back to my corner, I've sat down. They said, Joe, you're not going out for round 2. I said, let me go out for round 2, please. So I've gone out for round 2. Now my dad used to call me for my runs in the morning. And I never liked getting out of bed. I never liked going running. Me and Ray were talking about it earlier on. I never liked running. I'd done it because I had to do it, but I enjoyed the bag work, I enjoyed the pad work, I loved the sparring, but I never liked the running. So Dad used to say, get out of bed, son. I don't want to go running. Get out of bed, drag yourself off the deck. It's going to be the same when you get the deck in the fight. It's like dragging yourself out of bed. I said, Dad, I'm never going to get decked. No one's going to put me down. My legs are strong. My chin's granite. Anyway, when that left eye was badly damaged, second round against the Greek, I turned blindside on, never saw the punch, bang, I'm on the deck. I didn't even know I'd been knocked out. I'm lying on the deck, on my back, flat, and I'm doing this. I'm actually looking for my bed sheets. God strike me down. I'm looking for my bed sheets. I'm in bed, I'm asleep in bed, I'm looking for my bed sheets. My 2 cornermen, they thought I was calling them into the ring. I wasn't, I'm looking for my bed sheets. So I turn onto my side, this eye's completely closed, this eye's open. I saw the referee go, 5. What's he doing in my bedroom? So from the time, I never felt it. From the time he hit me, to the time I fell, to the time I'm lying on my back, to the time I'm on the side, with my eye open, 15 seconds, asleep. So anyway, I got to my feet. My cornermen were in the ring at that stage. I staggered, fell into their arms, but I got beat on my feet. And I remember ringing my dad. I said, Dad, I won a bronze medal. He said, well done, son. I said, Dad, remember you told me about getting decked? It's like dragging yourself off the deck, dragging yourself out of bed. You got decked, son? I said, yeah, I did that. But I said, I never felt the punch. My left eye's closed, but I got up and I got beat on my feet. But it was the strangest feeling.
Yeah.
Strangest feeling for anybody that's ever been knocked out.
Yeah, well, thankfully, touch wood, I haven't.
Strangest feeling.
No, that's not boastful. I mean, as I always say, I've never met anybody to hit me hard enough. I've sparred with champions, but not the champions at these level in Fulham. But I was only just answering a question. I didn't mean to sound boastful.
No, but the
Did really?
I've been hit by better punches. Joe said I was hit by better punches.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that punch coming.
That's the one you didn't see
I've never
coming.
seen
No,
it coming.
exactly.
It's the one, isn't it? It's always the one
I've
you
never
don't
seen it, never seen it, Kevin.
Yeah,
Never
100%.
seen it. I turned blindside on, I was blinded in that eye anyway. And I turned them, and suddenly it's gone. And like I said, 15 seconds. Yeah, but I was gone. I was gone.
So let's stay on the fighting, because we've got lots more to talk about, and we do have to party. We have to bear that in mind. I know the girls have a party. Now, let's stay on Lennox Lewis, Iron Mike Tyson. You know, there's a big part of your career, it's a big part of your legacy.
Yes.
How hard, what was the difference between Iron Mike and Lennox both crashing them punches into you?
I'll tell you a little bit about what Mike would do, right? Mike would hit you 4 punches.
Yeah.
Lennox would hit you 1.
Yeah.
And the combinations of Mike's 4 hitting you would have the same effect as Lennox's 1. Lennox was an incredible, accurate power puncher.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate because Lennox didn't handle small men as well as he handled tall men.
Yeah.
Right? And I saw him get knocked. Now, he wasn't as such knocked out, but he was lifted over the ropes by Mike in a sparring session. Lifted over the ropes, yeah.
How old were they then, approximately? Because we know what happened later in life. It was the other way around.
Lennox, Mike would have been 18. I'm several months older than Mike, so me and Mike would have been 18. Lennox, I think, is 18 months older than us. So Lennox would have been 19, 20, right?
Yeah.
But Lennox lifted over the ropes, boom. But he got up, he dusted himself down, and he got back in. But I do believe, on a level playing field, and this is only my opinion, I do believe on a level playing field that Mike handled bigger men a lot easier than Lennox handled smaller men.
Yeah.
But when Lennox fought Mike, it was a shell of a man.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a shell of a man.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
Jose Sullivan, the president of the WBC, categorically said that they would accept a positive urine test of Mike Tyson. Several weeks before the fight, Mike was out in Hawaii smoking the crack. Weeks before the fight, he was on a drug that was calming him down. Now, if you put a greyhound or a horse into the stalls and the traps on a calming down drug and expect them to leave the stalls and the traps the same speed as the other horses and the greyhounds, it doesn't work. They're slow, they're lethargic.
Totally. Yeah.
Mike relied on speed. He had the power, but all the power in the world is no good if you haven't got the speed to deliver it. And Mike was lethargic. Take nothing away from Lennox. Lennox was in front of him on the night, but it was a shell of a man. And I believe on a level playing field, a 50-50, because that's all we ask for in life is a fighting chance. Mike didn't have a fighting chance.
Yeah. Well, he's a good friend of yours. I've done some research, as I said earlier. He's come over to Ireland, he met your mother and everything, come to Dublin to the family, 4 times he's travelled this. He's a really good mate of yours. I think what a lot of people would like to know about Iron Mike Tyson, he might be what you might call Marmite. He seems like an intelligent bloke, and another side to him that could almost seem like the baddest man on the planet. Tell me, in your experience over your years and years of friendship, have you seen the Marmite, the side that you might like?
I'm going to tell you something now, right? I don't know everybody's circumstances in this room. You know, we've all suffered at different stages of our life, different things, right? But Mike's introduction into this world was probably one of the most harrowing introductions. I lived in Bay Ridge in Brooklyn in New York. Mike lived in Brownsville. Now Brownsville was so dangerous. He was a 10-year-old boy running the streets, trying to fend for himself, right? When he was 10, he found a man hanging in a warehouse. 10 years of age, he searched the man's pockets trying to get money for food, right? Even with all his successes and what he's achieved, I don't envy that man's introduction into this world. He had a tragic, his mother was a prostitute, trying to fend. He was meeting men every day. He didn't understand what his mother was doing. And he had such a hard introduction into this world. Then, when he got taken on by Cuss, and Cuss fathered him and loved him and cared for him, we never saw the best of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson achieved so much, so young. Cuss didn't survive to see Mike winning the world title. He watched him from heaven. fighters need minding, and Cuss minded Mike. But when Cuss died and that evil man Don King took over, nasty piece of work. I worked for Don, so I know what he's all about. The man's a nasty piece of work, right? I sparred a lot of Mike Tyson's opponents through Don, nasty piece of work. But I'm going to tell you a story now. Mike used to speak to my mother all the time, 22 years speaking to each other on and off on the phone. And Mike used to chat to her, and my mum used to say, "Oh Mike, thank you so much for looking after my son." He was battering me week in, week out. But, you know, but she used to say, "Thank you for minding my son." Anyway, this particular day, he said to me, "How's your mum doing, Joe?" She said, "Not so good, Mike." She had a lump removed from her neck. Our brother Brian, my uncle Brian, had died at 47 with cancer, God rest him. And we were worried. My mum was a smoker. My uncle Brian wasn't a smoker, and we were concerned that it was cancer. So Mike said, "Let's go and visit your mum, Joe." So we've landed in Dublin after 22 years of him speaking on and off on the phone. It was hysteria. I mean, unreal. Thousands of people, incredible. My mum had been released from hospital because there was that MRSA book, and they released her, but they released her to the care of her sister. So she's in a house, on a housing estate. Well, my family had actually been evicted from this housing estate. That's another story. I'll tell you that another time. Me and my little brother, we used to chop sticks, buy a bag of logs, £1.50, chop the sticks in a tube of a car, cut the inner tube of a car, make an elastic band, and we used to make £7.50 with the bag of logs, cut the sticks. But the council said that we were running a business from the house. We were two little boys. And they put the rent up to maximum rent, and they backdated it, said we owed them £6,000 in arrears. This is the early 80s. So my dad fought them in court, was winning in court, but then the council didn't like that. They didn't want council tenants winning. So they evicted my family. Years later, I was away boxing in Denmark, in Esbjerg. I fought Brian Nielsen, who went on to fight Tyson. And I'm ringing home and I can't get through. And I ring my nana, and I said, "I can't get through to my family." And my nana started crying. She said, "Your mother's tried to kill herself." My mum's the happiest woman in the world. The bailiffs had been 4 days fighting to get into my family home. My dad was a tough man, and he had some friends. We lived on the docks, and some of his friends, and they fought the bailiffs out for 4 days. But during the attacks, my mum just had a breakdown. He stuck a knife in her stomach and cut her wrists. But she survived, you know, she was a strong woman. But I'm away boxing for Ireland. This has been done to my family from years previous as little boys. But but now I'm going on to that housing estate, all them years later, with one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time, into Auntie's house. And it was just incredible. And Mike embraced my mum. She was fragile at the time. He embraced her. This is a man that can break bones with punches. And he embraced my mum. Anyway, they started talking about birthdays. My mum's birthday was the 12th of July, Mike's was the 30th of June. And they both had the same birth sign, Cancer. And my mum said, "Mike, the birthdays, the birth sign and everything else." Next week he said, "Mr. Egan," he said, "I remember on my 18th birthday, we were together when we were 17, me and Mike." He said, so this was his first birthday from when we were together. Yeah. He said, "Mr. Egan," he said, "I remember on my 18th birthday, 22 years previous, he said, you sent over a shoebox. It's all on the internet. You can watch it on the internet. He sent over a shoebox. He said, with some potato chips in the shoebox, Irish potato crisps. He said, some money in an envelope, would have been very little money, and some sweatshirts, would have been second-hand sweatshirts." And Mum said to Mike, "You remember that, Mike? 22 years previous, a couple of packets of crisps, a couple of pounds in an envelope, and a couple of second-hand sweatshirts." And he went, "Yes, Mrs. Egan." He said, "I remember it." He said, "Because very few people have given me anything in my life." I broke down crying then at that moment in time. Mike embraced my mother, and he looked at me, because Mike made me cry loads of times. And he looked at me, excuse the language, he goes, "Joe, motherfucker, you're always crying." You know, but I just thought to myself, a man that could have been a billionaire athlete, remembering a couple of packets of crisps. I bet there's not many people in this room can remember what they got 22 years ago for a present. But it shows you what it meant to that man.
What it meant to him, exactly, because he hadn't, as you said, he hadn't been given very little opportunity. Very little. As you said about Cuss dying. Yeah. So just quickly, have you ever seen any of the rant tantrums, rages from Mike? Yeah,
I saw loads of them. Yeah, I saw loads of them. We were in Manchester this time, right?
You just leave him to it, Joe, when he rants on?
Yeah.
It's a sensible thing to do.
Listen, a man that can hurt you. A man that can hurt you as bad as he hurt me with gloves on. You'd only be getting hit by a bare knuckle.
No, it makes sense,
like,
doesn't it?
and like I said, he hurt you. Every punch he threw with bad intentions. But it was only in the sparring. There was nothing personal. I've seen Mike knock men out and then embrace them, bring them round and cuddle them, you know, and say, listen, wasn't your day today? You know, he was a very lovely man, except when he was hitting you. When he was hitting you, he wasn't so lovely. But I've seen tantrums. I've seen some tantrums over the years.
Yeah, the baddest man on the planet. Yeah, well, imagine him. I remember when he bit Vander Holyfield's ear.
Listen. What happened there?
When he was jumping then with tantrum, I thought, blimey, take the gloves out of there. But Holyfield wasn't doing too bad either. He was ready to have a go when his ear come off. Yeah.
But Evander, not taking anything away from what Mike done. Mike done bad. He shouldn't have done that. But two wrongs don't make a right. Evander had headbutted Mike on a couple of occasions.
Absolutely.
Prior to the bite.
Absolutely, all part of the plan, wasn't it?
And he headbutted Mike. Referee didn't do anything. He headbutted Mike. Referee didn't do anything. Headbutted Mike a third time, and then Mike just thought, stuff that, and he bit him. Shouldn't have done it. 2 and 3 wrongs don't make a right. But Evander, like I said, Evander was using his head.
Couldn't agree more. Now, talking about tantrums.
Yes.
You've been to prison.
Yeah. Not proud of it.
But it wasn't for a tantrum, was it?
No.
What criminality was it?
I'll tell you what happened, right? About the royalty out of respect, about the no man out of fear. I'd rather get battered. I'd rather get battered on my feet than crawl on my belly. I couldn't do it. We're here. We're proud men, and ladies obviously as well, excuse me. You know, fighting men are proud men. And no one likes a bully. No one likes a bully. I've experienced bullying all my life. And when I retired from boxing, I went into the pub. I left school when I was 14 years of age. I don't read or write so good. I went under the doors when I was 15. I left school with 2 swimming certificates, you know, and I always thought boxing was going to make me my fortune. I don't need Pythagoras' theorem or anything like that, you know. I thought boxing's going to make me rich. It didn't, but I done okay. Anyway, when I had to retire from boxing, I didn't know what to do with myself. I had my door work and my bodyguard work. But I thought, I don't want to be doing security for the rest of my life. It was a means to an end. There must be something better. So I spoke to Paddy Finn, whose father, Boxer Finn, had founded my amateur boxing club. And Paddy had to retire because of a trapped disc in his back. So I said to Paddy, well, what can I do? He said, well, come over, he said, and work for me. And he said, run my pub. He said, and then in time we get you your own pub. So I said, okay, Paddy. So I came over, I'd done a BII certificate, British Institute of Innkeeping certificate. I'd done 2 MVQs. And I managed the Dublin pub for 2 years, 2 great years. Then the Lyndhurst pub came up, big pub, big function room, on a housing estate that was very, very rough. It was that rough it made Beirut look like Beverly Hills. That's how rough it was. Like,
Which estate are we talking?
Birmingham, the
yeah.
Lyndhurst estate.
Yeah.
I got shot there. I got shot there twice. But the thing is, I took the pub, and it was doing £1,000 a week. And within a couple of 3 months, we're doing £16,000 a week. Put boxing tournaments on in the function room. Had the Lions Club based themselves there, the big charity organisation. We'd quiz nights, we'd discos, and it was a safe pub. But then the racketeers, there's a particular family in Birmingham, they're very nasty, and they put a demand in for £500 a week. Now I thought, this happens in movies, protection. But anyway, that was on the 19th of July 1998. So I told them, no, go away. The following week, the 26th of July, the Sunday, 37 of them, armed with handguns, hatchets, machetes, shotguns, they attacked. Now I was very fortunate that the pub was frequented by a lot of the ex-boxers and proud men and women, and we fought.
What's going through your mind when you see 37 fellas with knives, machetes? I know you've got a good chin, but
I was very scared, Ray. I was very Joseph. I was very scared. I spoke to Ray.
Naturally, I'd say.
Yeah, I was very scared because not just for me, because I had the patrons in my pub, my friends in the pub, you know, and very fortunate no one died that day. There was a lot of seriously wounded people. I was badly wounded, like I said, I was shot twice, and but the police, who in particular in Birmingham, the most corrupt force in the country. I won't disrespect the police. We live in a cruel world, and there has to be some sort of ruling, you know, so they've got to be there. But when they let you down, it's very, very hard to accept. And they knew that there was a gang coming that day. They knew that an armed response, they had an armed response unit ready that day, Joseph. They knew there was men coming to that pub with guns, and it took them, the police station, 800 yards from my pub, and it took them 55 minutes to get to me.
800 yards.
800 yards.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, so I'm badly wounded. The battle was a bad battle. A guy had his arm chopped off, another guy had his hand chopped off, and it was a bad battle, like I said. It was very, very... They said in the headlines in the newspaper, they said the battle at the Lyndhurst made the Braveheart film look like a Walt Disney movie. That was the headlines.
Really?
Anyway, when I was took to the hospital, the only reason I got shot, the bravest man I ever seen in my life, a fellow called Steve Dalton. Dalton ran at the bullets. He took two bullets, excuse me. They fired 3 shots from the handgun, 2 of them hit Dalton. And I hid behind a wall, and I saw my friend, 2 bullets put into him. And then the handgun after 3 shots was thrown on the floor. An old man called Tim O'Regan, an old Irish man from Limerick who'd fought in World War II in the British Army, he stepped out with his hands up. He said, I know these people, I can stop this. As he stepped out, I stepped out to pull him in from behind the wall. And the man that done the shooting, I won't even name him. In my book, I named him, what did I call him? More or less scumbag. But he was handed the shotgun, and as he handed the sawn-off shotgun, he blew the hip clean out of Tim O'Regan, blasted him. 2 shots of the shotgun. Loads of the shotgun pellets hit me because I was broader and bigger than Tim. He was splattered all over my forehead. The blessings of God, he survived out of hip replacement. The blessings of God, I said, no one died that day. Right, but when I was took to the hospital, in the hospital, with Tim O'Regan and a few of the other people that was injured in my pub, we were attacked in the hospital again. I had to fight my way out of the hospital, Joseph.
Some protection from the British police there, then, eh?
Anyway, this
Most
is
corrupt force in the UK.
The best part is to come now. This is the best part. I'm charged with attempted murder. I was the one that was shot. You couldn't make it up. Heaven.
Couldn't make it up.
I had to fight in court, right? Never in trouble in my life. Never in trouble in my life. Licensee for a pub. Honourable discharge from the part-time army. FAA registered with the airlines I work with Delta. Now suddenly I'm on an attempted murder charge. I got very sick. I had several weeks in hospital, 5 operations. An abscess burst in my bowel, and the poison went through me because I was so stressed. To go from never being in trouble to having to fight for my life, to suddenly charge with it, but the police used me as a scapegoat. Anyway, when I beat the charges, headlines in the newspapers, justice prevails. Now at that stage, the brewery were trying to get me out of the pub. I'm fighting the attempted murder charges, and my ex-missus, no disrespect, she's dead now, she died this year with cancer, 51. She's in my house in Ireland, house that I'd bought through my sparring with Mike. But when I went into business, I was a bit naive because I thought, if the business fails, they could take my house. But they couldn't have took it in Ireland, but I didn't know that. So I put it in her name, and then she ended up trying to take the house. So now I'm fighting her for my house, the brewery to keep the roof over my head, and the police and the attempted murder charges. So I ran out of money. I sold everything I had, my watch, my ring, my car, my leather jackets, everything. I sold everything to pay legal fees. And I was so down. And then a fella came into the pub and he said, Joe, can I park stolen cars in your car park? I said, you can park tanks on my car park. I said, okay, just give me money. Anyway, that's all I wanted. So he ended up working with the police, setting me up, because I'd beaten the attempted murder charges. They wanted to send me down because I exposed the West Midlands police for corruption. And they set me up. And then next of all, what should have been a slap on the wrist, they gave me a load of years in prison. And it was wrong what they done, but
what was your time like? I know you met a good mate of mine, Johnny Frankham, in prison. He said you're a lovely bloke.
Nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy, yeah.
Nice guy.
Well, what was the prison like, Joe?
I had done 3 prisons. I've done 3 prisons.
Better than Ray's prison, was it? You done a bit, Ray. What was it like?
30 years I've done much.
Oh, 30. You didn't do that, no?
Yeah, done a lot,
Right. Well, I'll get you on next week, Ray.
It wasn't what they done to me. It wasn't what they done to me. It's what they done to my younger brother. Because when I was remanded, I didn't want to lose my business because everything I had was in the business. So I asked my younger brother, would he come over and run the business for me. So he came over to run the pub. Then they said he wasn't even there when the cars was being done.
Really?
And when he came over to run the pub, they said, you're part of the racketeering as well. They gave him 2 years. He missed the birth of his child. And that crippled me with pain. Because all my brother done was try to help me. But what they done was they stuck the boot in. When you're down, they stuck the boot in.
Well,
what doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
It happens.
And when I was in prison, I got myself fit. And I came out and I made a comeback into boxing. And there was a big write-up in the Boxing News. They said, George Foreman made the comeback after 10 years. Big Joe Egan makes the comeback after 12 years. They get mentioned in the same paragraph as George Foreman.
George Foreman, good stuff, yeah. Good stuff.
I won my fight in the 5th round.
We've got some girls in the crowd, and we're talking a lot of boy stuff, aren't we? But I think this is one for the girls. There's an old saying, right? You probably all heard this. Whilst we mightn't admit it, but we probably can a bit. Every boxer can dance, but not every dancer can fight. How in earth did Michael Flatley nick one of your birds off you?
He was earning £1 million a week. I nearly got with it myself, to tell you the truth. You know, I got see the attraction.
Nearly a flat.
When he was interviewed on television, they said, is it true you're earning $1 million a week? He goes, no, I'm earning £1 million a week. Put myself, I can see why she likes him. But somebody said to me, did she like to spend money? I said, did she what? I said, see, when a credit card was stolen, I didn't report it stolen because the thief was spending less than her.
No, you don't drink, Joe, do you?
What?
You don't drink?
I don't drink alcohol.
So I'm going to have your half. Can you pour me some wine there, please? No, you don't want to have your half, do you?
No.
Oh, thank you. Sandy, it's a good mate to have, isn't he? Only against my religion, I'm allowed to drink wine in church, that's all right, isn't it?
That's all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Michael Flatley ended up, at the time, I was on a sinking ship, you know, and she bailed out. She jumped onto the lifeboat. The lifeboat just happened to be Michael Flatley. Wasn't a bad lifeboat to jump onto, really, was it?
Could have been worse, £1 million a week.
£1 million a week, but she died this year. God rest her, like 51. I don't speak bad about her. I tried to console her through a battle with cancer. You know, her brother was killed, and her mother and father had to bury 2 children. Eileen and Des have had to bury 2 children, and that's parents shouldn't have to bury a child, especially 2. But she was a good woman. But the thing was, what was happening to me was hard on me, and it was twice as hard on her.
Yeah, bless her, right?
Yeah, God rest her.
God bless her. So, just want to touch on something briefly, because the girls are ready to dance soon, and we've got a bit of an auction to do. Being a Dubliner,
yeah.
And if this was a big secret, I wouldn't go there, but it's not. A Keenahan in the Hutch rivalry. Did ever that come to your doorstep, and which way you had to decide? Did you?
All I tried to do was keep the peace.
Yeah.
Right. They're my friends, and in the boxing, there's always been on the world. Right. You could be sitting ringside. There could be a bin man. There could be a member of the royal family, and there could be a gangster. That's the attraction of boxing. And they're my friends through the boxing. I'm not on the world. I'm not a gangster, you know. But the thing is, they're my friends. And when the war started with them, and there was friends of mine murdered on both sides, I tried to keep the peace. Now, recently I was approached by the jungle, people that are involved with the jungle, you know, because recently with the feud with John Fury, there's been a lot of...
Sorry, well, what do you mean by the jungle?
Get me out of here.
Oh, the celebrity, get me out of here.
Yeah. And Barry McGuigan ended up going in, but when they approached my agents, because I do a lot of acting, I've done over 60 movies now and TV series and stuff. When they approached my agents, because there's been a lot of interest on the social media with internet, TikTok and Twitter and stuff, so they said about the jungle. So I went and done the interviews and told them I don't like heights, I don't like spiders, you know. I'm afraid of heights, I don't like spiders, I don't like fire. I thought, oh, I'd be perfect view, and a tough guy, terrified. Don't mind being terrified. Anyway, they come back to me and they said, look, we're concerned about the connections with the Kinahans and the Hutchins. I said, well, let me tell you the connections. I said, all I try to do is keep the peace. I try to save lives. I've lost friends on both sides. And I said, if I'm a sinner of being a peacekeeper, then Gandhi was the biggest sinner ever. Because that's what he was known for keeping the peace.
Yeah, it's well
respected. So they said, okay, we'll accept that. But then they ended up with an obstacle going into Australia because of my criminal record. But I thought I'm 20 years out of prison, they might have overlooked it, but obviously the Australians don't overlook it. It's funny, years ago to go into Australia you had to have a criminal record. You know, you can't get in, you get one, But I got close, I was in the running, and it didn't happen. But I'm on the radar for other
You're on the radar. Well, you know, little channels become big ones. So if you're looking out there, any of the producers, Big Joe's ready.
I'm talking to a few of them at the moment. Through my, I don't talk to them. The agents talk to them, you know, and they've took a good interest in me, you know. And it's very flattering to tell you the truth, Joe.
Yeah, I bet it is.
You know.
Back to boxing.
Yeah.
Because we got to move on. We will talk later. We're talking to cameras off all night, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll have a dance and talk and everything. Do you dance when you're in the drink?
No, I've no
Michael didn't learn you no moves?
I've no rhythm. I've seen.
That was a joke.
No.
Is it Michael didn't learn you any moves?
No. I've no.
Is that a test?
But do you know something? It's funny you say that, because the last time I was in the disco with Lisa, I should have realised, well, because I danced in that and half improved. You know? But,
Tyson Fury. Big music, any return?
I believe so. Speaking to Ray there earlier on, when Tyson Fury boxed, like, I'm a big fan of Tyson Fury's. He's my friend. I don't get on with his dad. I don't think anybody likes his dad. No. And I don't. It's funny because
I ain't saying name.
I done a video. Just videotaped the video, and we laughed so much because when I done the video, I said, "John Fury, you're the most hated man on this planet." And I said, if there's life out there on other planets, which I believe there is, I said, even the extraterrestrials hate you as well. And we laughed so much. He is hated because Paddy Doherty, my mum's people are travelling people, and Paddy Doherty sent me a thing now the other day, a video that I did, and he put it onto the travelling site, the travelling internet thing. And I'm no good with computers. I'm old school, preaching posts and smoke signals. But Paddy sent me a thing, and he put that video up, one of the videos that I've done recently, and I said about John. 422,000 likes, not views, likes. And that's on the travelling community site. He's hated by his own people, right? And when his own two sons, because a lot of people don't know what's going on with the feud with John. I thought John was my friend. We were on the circuit together. Neither of us were any good. Right, we're both just tough men, but anybody that climbs into the ring, into the cage, onto the mat to fight, male or female, is tough. You're born with courage. You play football, you play basketball, you play golf, you play tennis. You don't play the fight game, right? Cage fighting, MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, karate. It's a form of full contact fighting. So I admire and respect every fighter. So I thought John Fury was my friend. I'd done a movie with Russell Crowe and Ray Winston called Prize Fighter, and the premiere was out in Cannes, the premiere before Maverick. I couldn't go to the premiere, I was working. And Matt Pearce, whose father, Dave Pearce, ex-British heavyweight champion, he's dead now, God rest him. Matt said, Tyson Fury's out here for the premiere of Maverick, can you get him to come to the premiere? So I rang Tyson. Tyson, of course I'll go. So Tyson's gone to the premiere, got paralytic drunk, was carried out of the premiere, didn't even make the Maverick premiere. But John was there milking the occasion. So Russell Crowe said to him, this is fact, I'm not making this up. Russell Crowe said to him, was very, very humbled. He said, another boxer in the film, John, Joe Egan, do you know Joe? And instead of saying, yes, I know Joe. Joe's a good guy. He said, yeah, Joe's a fraud. Joe's a fake hard man. I never claimed to be a hard man in my life. Hard men have said Joe's a hard man, and it's a great compliment. But I've never claimed to be a hard man. I claim to be a proud man, and I claim to be a nice man. So Ray Winston, who's my friend, Ray used to box out of Ripton. Ray went, ooh. So Ray phoned me. He said, Joe, that man's not a friend of yours. He's insulted you. So I thought, okay, I'm a fighting man, travelling man, without the cobbles. So I thought, I'll see him in my own time. Then he's on the stage saying, I'm the hardest 58-year-old man ever. No, he's not. Joseph, no, he's not. And neither am I. But I'm harder than what he is. I believe I am. My chin's been hit by 4 heavyweight champions of the world and I wasn't knocked out. He was hit by 1 and knocked out. We're going to stand if he takes the fight. We're going to stand in front of each other. We're too old to dance. We'll stand in front of each other and we'll punch each other till the first man gives in. And I believe it'll be him. I haven't cycled a bike for 20 years, but I could go out to the streets and cycle a bike. I'm not going to win Tour de France. I haven't been in the boxing ring for 20 years, but I know how to fight.
Deep down, do you think it'll ever happen in the ring?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think the pride has to eventually surface with him.
Do you think absence will make engulf the fight even more?
His own two sons, Tyson Fury and Shane, have said to him, Dad, you've called it on, step up to the mark. Be careful what you wish for, right? The money that, I know he's a millionaire. I'm far from a millionaire, right? But they've offered millions of pounds, which is incredible. Misfits, KSI, millions of pounds. Conor McGregor has offered millions of pounds for the bare knuckles. I'm not afraid of that man, Joseph. I'm not afraid of him. And I do believe...
What do you think would happen, Joe, if you met, like, say, at a boxing show? Do you think, would you be willing to shake hands or not? Or no. Do you think he would? Or is it real bad blood?
If he fights me, after the fight, we'll embrace and we'll shake hands because we would have earned each other's respect. At this moment in time, I've got no respect for that man because he shouldn't have insulted me. He shouldn't have done that. He's a glory hunter. And he tries to steal the thunder and glory of his own two sons, you know. And instead of saying, yes, I'm a proud dad, even the way he describes Tyson, excuse the vulgarity, ladies, he comes from my spunk. That's his son. That's the heavyweight champion of the world. You know, his DNA, his pride and joy. He's a very crude, rude man, you know. And when he said to KSI, excuse the vulgarity, ladies, I'll bum you. And then he said to Jake Paul, I bend your missus over the table and fuck her. I just thought to myself, you're a dope. Now, boxing doesn't just need great fighters, it needs great ambassadors. And he's far from a great ambassador for boxing or for the travelling community.
I agree. When I do my podcast, I'm just an amateur Joe. I play around with it. I have a bit of fun. I don't like having to go at anybody, but I'm not afraid to tell the truth when it comes to certain. And I can't be having language and remarks like that. For me,
I'd love to put manners on him. I would love to put manners on that man. I would love to put manners on that man. You know. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, Joe, anybody wants any young boxers out there on the channel and out in the audience? Any advice for them before we? I've got one more question actually. One for the ladies. I think the ladies might listen. I don't want loads of time for you to think of this because I've had a drink now. I've had a couple. You've done a bit of acting and apparently you played a part very well. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a good actor, right? I don't claim to be a good actor. I don't claim to be a good boxer, but I try my best, and that's all we can do is try our best. And I get to play the tough guy. I've had to live the life of a tough guy, standing on doors of nightclubs, working security boxing. You know, they're never going to give me a love scene in a film. You know what I mean? So
never know.
Listen. The only love scene they're ever going to give me in a movie is a prison love scene with a cellmate more dangerous than me. You know.
There's one for the girls.
Go on.
In an acting world. Yeah. Eliminating any members of family. Who would you be if you weren't yourself? But you got 20 seconds. You ain't had a line out. Superman.
Oh yeah.
Christopher Reeve. Superman. Which one?
Superman.
Just Superman.
Just Superman.
Yeah, they were played by. You go which one?
Yeah, Christopher Reeve was Superman. Yeah, but I'm just saying, as a character,
he's got to be
as a character, everyone loves Superman or Batman. You know, Superman or Batman.
Which message we got out there for the wannabe young fighters, boxers out there? There's a couple in the crowd. I know at least
the best advice that my dad used to give me, right, is to train hard, right? Because if you train hard, it can get you through a tough fight, you know, and that's the most important. Because fail to prepare, be prepared to fail, right? So train hard, put the miles on the road where I never did, and I regret that I never did it. We spoke about it earlier on, me and Ray. I regret that I never did. I never put them miles in because I had fights that I'm not saying I could have won, but I wouldn't have been as badly wounded or as badly hurt if I'd have been fitter.
So there you go.
Train hard. But see with the movies, right? See with the movies, I've worked with 4 Academy Award-winning actors, and it's a privilege to work. I had no acting ability. But 2 of the films actually get called my own name. I get called Big Joe and Sherlock Holmes, and it's a funny story, Joseph. When I went for the audition for Sherlock Holmes, I got to play the barman in the movie Cass. Cass published my book, Mike Tyson launched the book, Canary Wharf came to a standstill, one of the best days of my life. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people there queuing to get the book because Mike Tyson was there. I know everybody was there for Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson was there for me. So I got a part in the movie Cass. When I was on the film set, Tamer Hassan, the actor, took a shine to me. He said, Joe, you got a good presence on screen. Do you fancy an acting career? I thought to myself, if acting my way through a boxing career, I'll give it a go. So his agent sent me for the audition for Sherlock Holmes to play McMurdo, to fight Robert Downey Jr., this Iron Man, in the movie. So they said, give an intimidating stare into the camera. I gave the intimidating stare. They said, say the line. I said the line. They went, wow, you've got an amazing intimidating stare. I said, I have to look into the eyes of Mike Tyson. And then I was trying to intimidate them, to intimidate a couple of casting agents. And I got the part. Joseph, when I went to the read-through, my nameplate, Joe Egan, next to Jude Law, Robert Downey Jr., Rachel McAdams, who got the Academy Award. Rachel McAdams, who got the Academy Award for Southpaw, Eddie Marson, sitting opposite Guy Ritchie, Joel Silver, the CEO of Warner Brothers, all the hierarchy of Warner Brothers. And Guy Ritchie said, Joe, we've been trying to get you in one of our movies for a long time. And I went, you're joking. And Robert Downey Jr. leaned in and goes, Joe, you come with a fearsome reputation. I couldn't believe these people even knew me, but they knew me through Mike Tyson. Anyway, we travelled down to do the practice fight, and Guy said, how are things, Joe? I said, things are okay, Guy, I'm making ends meet. He said, has your agent told you much again for the fight scene? I said, Guy never even asked. I'm just so honoured to be in your film. When he told me, it was more money than I got in any of my professional fights. And I was deadly serious. I said, Guy, I said, for that money, I said, Robert Downey Jr., you can really hit me. You can kick me as well if you want to. And he took a fit of laugh and he said, Joe, I don't want you beaten up. I said, I've been beaten up for a lot less than that. I do a few weeks in hospital for that money. And I didn't have to get beaten up in the film. I get into the prison scene where I got called Big Joe by Robert Downey Jr. And my mother seen that film and she was proud as punch. No mother wants to see a boxer get beaten up. But she saw me getting killed in the films loads of times. And she loved it. 2 films get killed twice in. People say, people say, how can you get killed twice? I said, I get killed as a human being, turned into a werewolf, then killed as a werewolf. Then I get killed as a human being, turned into a vampire, and then killed as a vampire. So 2 films get killed twice in. My mother loved it. Yeah. You know? But it's all good fun. It's all good fun. I've just finished on a big gangster film. And work with some big British stars. It's out next year. And it's enjoyable.
Good.
And the money's a bonus. The money's a bonus.
But while we're on admin stuff, you stay right there. I'm going to get a couple of you. Stay right there. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a couple of admin. There's a gentleman, is that 28? Is it last man standing?
No, it was one of 28 men.
One of 28 men?
In a cage.
In a cage
tournament called Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing?
And he was the last man standing, Alex Deacon.
Ladies and gentlemen, give us a stand up and a wave. Alex Deacon.
Well done. He was the last man standing. And he's my friend, right? But the man watched my back. Actually, he wasn't behind me. The man stood beside me against a nasty element. And he was there beside me, you know, for no financial gain, for friendship. You know, so that's what you want in life.
Good man. Well, there's a couple of boys over there, unbeaten, unlicensed heavyweight. Roman Smith for a son. Roman Stocking Smith, stand up, give us a wave. Joe Stocking Smith, Joe Jr., stand up, give us a wave. Better stay in my corner, you heavyweights. At the back, the old warrior, old man amongst old men, cousin Jimmy Stockings. Give us a wave, Jimmy. Woo! I've probably forgotten a few, but there's one sitting right in front of me, so if you don't mention me, you've got bang bang written on that.
One of my very good friends.
A fellow West Londoner and fighter, of course it is Mr. Ray Bang Bang L. If I've forgotten any hard men out there, please don't take it out on me. Take it out on Big Joe Egan. He's got a chin of granite. Okay, and that will conclude. We can go back to.
Is there anyone want to ask me anything, Joseph?
Any Q&As before we close down?
Yeah, some people might want to ask something. This young lady.
Do you still speak to Mike Tyson?
Yes, I still speak to Mike Tyson. What's that?
How is it? Yeah.
Do you know something? He's $50 million better off than he was a few weeks ago. But that's how he is.
Poor old Mike, bless him. He's only won $50 million.
$50 million for the Jake Paul fiasco, right? Because, do you know something, Kevin, right? I let my heart rule my head. I was interviewed on a podcast, Joseph, by Carl Frotz, and I told Mike to turn back the hands of time. Carl Frotz was telling me, they're one of the great world champions, Carl. And he's telling me, this is the way it's going to go. And I said, no, Carl. Mike's going to get in, knock him out, that's it, right? Bang, left hook to the body, left hook, then it's over. By the end of the podcast, Carl was saying, Joe, I think you're right. How wrong was I? But what Mike had done, $50 million.
$50 million.
Not a bad day's work.
Any more Q&As before we turn it in, because we've got an auction to go. Toby.
Very quickly, Joe, fantastic. How did you end up sparring with Tyson? How did you end up?
I went over to fight in America. I was 17, and I boxed in Atlantic City again. I fought in the Tropicana Hotel and Casino. I fought in the Sands Hotel and Casino in 88 when I beat Selden. But at 83, I'm boxing against a big Marine sergeant called William Dawson. 28 years of age. I was 17. I thought I was a big tough guy because I was standing on doors at 15. But I wasn't a big tough guy. And he battered me. He was a big tough guy, but he was a mature man. And he smashed me to bits for 3 rounds. But Floyd Patterson was in attendance. Floyd had married an Irish lady from Offaly. He took a great interest in the Irish boxing team. Paul Fitzgerald, the featherweight, he won well, beat a top American. Paul still lives out in America, lives in Upper Derby in Philadelphia. I've been to visit Paul, saw the Liberty Bell, I saw it on the Live Aid, I saw the Rocky statue. But Floyd said to me, he said, you haven't got much skill. I knew that. He said, but you've got a good chin. And he said, we can train you to improve your skills. We can't train to improve your chin. You've got an abundance of courage. Would you like to stay on in America? And I believe fighters are born with courage. You can teach them skills, you can't give them courage. So I said, yeah, I'll stay. I was 17, I had no money to come back. I remember phoning my mum. I said, Mum, I'm going to stay in America. She said, oh son, you'll never come home. I said, home next year, Mum. I went to Gleason's gym, I sparred a couple of pro heavyweights at Gleason's gym, Art Tucker, can't remember the other heavyweight's name. And I gave a good account of myself. But Al Gavin and Bob Jackson, who bought the gym of Cuss, they said there's a young heavyweight in the Catskills called Mike Tyson, 17, looking for sparring partners. I was so happy to hear 17, because I'd been fighting men. So I said, yeah, I'll have that. So I got to the Catskills, met Cuss, met Camille McMahony, met Hilda Brothers, Tom J, and then suddenly I'm introduced to Mike. And I watched him walking towards me, and I thought, he's smaller than me. As it turned out, several months younger than me. Then he spoke to me, and he said, hello, I need a lisp. I'm not going to batter you. No, but I really thought I had his measure. From that moment I met him. I didn't know he was knocking men out left, right, and centre. I didn't know this. So overnight we became great friends. Talking boxing, talking history of Irish boxing, Barry McGuigan in particular, because Barry had the relationship with Mr. Eastwood, who I went professional with, Mr. Eastwood. I was like father-son, like what Mike had with Cuss. So the next day, we ran, come back to the house, rested, go to the minibus now to go to the gym. And I'm nice and relaxed. I really believe I've got his measure. Next of all, I saw these big, powerful men. Big, powerful men. Walking. This, I'm going to show you the way they're walking. They're walking like this. That's the way they're walking to the minibus. Oh, yeah. Like men going to the gallows.
Yeah, yeah.
Walking on it. They knew what was coming. Stupid Paddy here didn't know what was coming. Right? I'm laughing a joke. I don't. Look at them sad bunch. But like I said, they knew what was on its way. I sat on the minibus beside Mike. I'm happy as Larry. I really believe I've got his measure. I'm bigger than him, several months older than him, more experienced than him. Got to the gym, shadow boxed, warmed up, bandaged up, gloved up, looking around. See Mike in the ring, stripped to the waist, 17, built like unbelievable, the physique, the neck, the shoulders. I hadn't seen this physique. I thought, that's not the same boy I ran with this morning. That's not the same boy I sat next to on the minibus. Next of all, Cuss pointed to one of the big men to get in. Mike knocked him spark out. I tell everybody, I'm not ashamed to say, I ruined a good pair of underpants at that moment in time. Like, I shit myself. Anyway, knocked down a couple more. I was number 4. I got in, I got battered. But I stayed on my feet for 3 minutes. I got out, a couple more got in. I got back in again. I took a 6-minute beating that day. 6-minute beating I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
How many rounds did you end up having with him? Approximately, give or take?
Probably well over 500 rounds.
Would it be slow? Would it be safe to say you're a really slow learner?
Yes. But what it was...
Most people have got out there after 1. 500 later and decides to come back to Ireland.
What it was, Joseph, right? I was earning incredible money. Incredible money. money that
well paid for, the
well
privilege.
Hard
Lovely privilege,
money, but you couldn't spend the money. You're in the Catskills. Rip Van Winkle was meant to have stepped up there for 4 years. Very, very tranquil, peaceful, beautiful place. Except when Mike was hitting me. It wasn't very peaceful. Yeah. But I used to go into the Bank of Ireland. Me and Mike, as 17-year-old boys, would travel into Manhattan once a month. Bank of Ireland, 50th and 5th. $15 I would ship me money home. And the money helped shape my brothers and sisters' lives. My sister came over to America. She married a policeman in New York. They've retired now to North Carolina. Mother sister went to university. She became a chartered accountant. Mother brother bought a milk froze, got 4 now. So the money I earned with Mike Tyson helped shape my brothers and sisters' lives. So
well, how about that, eh? Not bad, eh?
You know, so the longer I stayed on my feet with them, the more I earned. The more I earned, the more they benefited from.
Well, fantastic. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a lot more of Joe off the camera, I'm sure, but we've got to get on with the show. But ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Big Joe Egan.
Thank you very, very, very much. Joseph, thank you. And Charlie.